Hey, what's up, cats and kittens? And shout out to all my cerebralites. It's me, the Cerebral Diva, back with another episode of Reality. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about season 5, episode 16 of Black Ink Crew, one of my favorite shows. This episode was titled Rough Times. And this episode was really interesting because in this episode, I think the lines of demarcation between reality and scripted were very evident in this particular episode because we got to see some very real moments, and by my own personal estimation, I felt like we saw some very scripted moments. So let's jump right into it. So the episode begins with the aftermath of the Kit and Caesar and Allison trifecta love triangle. Caesar's trying to make amends. He's trying to atone, and he sends Kit tons and tons of flour. But by now, everyone knows that the two of them don't wind up together because apparently Caesar's dating Carly Red from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So this is kind of sort of anticlimactic for me because I know the two of them don't wind up together. I think Kit's a really pretty girl though, so she'll be fine, and clearly Caesar's going to be fine. So I don't want to delve in that too much because for me that's a story that's already been concluded in real time. So we'll move on from that and talk about what happens next. Oh, but before we move on, there is a really cute moment where Kid is at work. C shows up. He's trying to apologize to her, and she's being non-receptive of his apologies. And so he sort of walks away, half-heartedly defeated, and says, that he has some tricks up his sleeve. So Kid's sitting at the reception desk, and all of a sudden in walks a guy with flowers and a note, and it's from C's, and he's apologizing. And a few minutes later, in comes another florist, another delivery person with another bouquet of flowers. And this happens in rapid succession for probably, I don't know, like 6 or 7 times. Ultimately, six times because she wound up with 3 dozen, I believe 3 dozen roses, if I'm not mistaken, or 3 dozen flowers. I don't know if they were roses. But I thought that was a really cute gesture. I think that a lot of men could actually take a cue from C's. This is how you apologize. I'm not sure whether or not I would be willing to, like, the one thing that you don't want to be is the rebound chick. And so for me, Kit was already privy to the fact that C's and Dutch has just broken up. So that when a man or a woman first comes out of a relationship, they need that breathing room, that time to sort of spread their wings and just get out there and play the field. And so if you're the person who comes right after the relationship, more than likely that relationship that you create will not be the lasting one. You're just the rebound. So you're really just sort of the hump girl, helping him get over to the person he will ultimately wind up with, which is Carly Red. So I just wanted to touch on that really quick. Now back to the rest of the episode. Oh, and really quick, I know I keep saying I'm about to move on from this, but really quick before I do move on, I think that Kit looks real crazy because, like, sleeping with it, and this is a mistake I think so many women make by jumping into immediate intimacy with men. Like, sleeping with a man does not qualify as a relationship. It qualifies as sex, and you have to be able to make that distinction because I don't even think that she has the right to sort of be putting these parameters on who sees is seen or not seen. Like, all you guys have done, at least based on the episode, and sometimes producers and editors can really sort of edit a story to create the narrative that they want us to see. But based on what I am seeing, she looks a little unstable to me, trying to sort of be the ball and chain and put these restrictions on who he can see. Like, you just look crazy. At this point, you guys are just dating, so take it for what it is and just date. And if a relationship evolves from dating, great. But I think that this is a really good example for a lot of women to see of what not to do, because sometimes, for whatever reason, whether it's the fact that we like a guy, whether we believe a guy carries a certain level of power or cachet, we want to attach or align ourselves with that guy because it's beneficial or advantageous, or it's a good look, so to speak. But in the end, whatever C's has, he has, you know. So I think Kit looks a little unstable trying to sort of manufacture this instant add water and stir relationship with C's. It's just like, girl, like, chill out. Just enjoy it for what it is. Take it at surface value or face value. And, you know, milk it. I mean, milk the situation, because whether she knows it or not, I mean, she's in a great situation. So I would be, if I were her, like, I'm not going to stress these. Look, if we do it, adults do, then that's cool. If you do whatever you do, okay, as long as we're protected, I don't have any issues with it. We're not in a committed relationship. You can see what you want to see. And as far as I'm concerned, I just don't want to hear about it or talk about it. But I'm definitely not trying to lock him down immediately, because very often that's one of the quickest ways to turn a man off and send him running in the opposite direction. So I really just wanted to touch on that. Now we're going to move on, I promise. Now, one of the sadder moments of this episode, and I was kind of anticipated it based on the previews from last week, is that we saw Richard, aka O-ish, and his wife Nikki. We saw the aftermath of a miscarriage, which was, you know, kind of sad to watch. But I don't know. Sometimes, and I had a tough time saying this last week. Sometimes the universe will give us not what we ask for, but what we need. And maybe, you know, a child just wasn't what they needed in that particular instance, because there's some sketchy stuff going on with this girl. You know, I don't know her from a can of paint, but she definitely has some skeletons that are waiting to come out, and so I'm really curious to know what those will be. But I just don't think that having a baby and pulling a baby into the mix of everything that they have going on was a smart thing to do. So, as unfortunately as a miscarriage is for anyone, I think that ultimately it's even saving the child to some degree from being the product of a dysfunctional relationship. So, yeah, I mean, my condolences to them on one hand, and also, you know, good luck moving forward. I'll just leave it there as far as that particular situation goes. Okay, now, after that happened, I believe we see a scene where Sky comes in. She hasn't been at work, you know. She and C's got into it a few episodes back, where where she pulled the tablecloth off during the dinner, and basically quit working at Black Ink Crew, or Black Ink, I should say. And so last week we saw C's come in with a job offer for Sky to manage Black Ink Atlanta. So Sky comes in and she's basically telling, you know, the old Black Ink crew, being Donna, Bay, and I forget the new guy's name, letting them know that she's basically going to be taking on a new job in Atlanta, so she'll be moving on to greener pastures. And Donna in particular was very much in her feelings. And it was kind of, you know, like when I began this video, I was talking about real moments versus scripted moments. This is a moment that was definitely not a scripted moment. You can tell that Donna was truly hurt in this particular moment. And I think Donna was hurt for two reasons. One reason I feel Donna's hurt is because she has abandonment issues, and it's hard for her to see the people that she feels closest to moving on without her. And the second reason I feel like Donna was emotional is because sometimes another person's growth can spotlight your own lack of growth. And I think seeing Sky grow and move on, and you know, I'm partially with Donna in the sense because I'm not sure what qualification or skills Sky possesses that would really warrant a managerial position. She just does not come across for me as a business owner as someone that I would want representing my brand. Unless your brand is ratchet, unless your brand is unprofessional, like Sky is a party girl, Sky is fun, and I mean, I don't want someone who's going to be loud and obnoxious and rude representing my brand, and that to me is what Sky offers. And so she seems very unstable. So when Donna was being critical of Sky getting this promotion and the way by which the promotion was procured, I could see how Donna would actually come to that conclusion, even though I think that it was tinged with jealousy and envy on Donna's part. So we see that part, and I really I like the fact that Sky took Donna to the back and they had a conversation, and Donna broke down in tears and started expressing, how she felt about this promotion, and being concerned about Sky moving on without her. I mean, it was tough to watch because we've seen Donna go through some really hard things with domestic abuse, and her ex-husband's baby mother, the fighting a few seasons ago. And she just seems like she's had a very tough go at it. I'd be willing to bet almost anything that Donna is a survivor of sexual abuse, of sexual trauma, sexual molestation of some sort. Just the energy that she feeds me tells me that she's a survivor of that, and that's why she's so protective, and that's also why she's so defensive and has all of these sort of walls built around her. But at the end of the day, you can tell that she's just a girl who wants to be loved but doesn't know how to be loved, so she pushes and pulls. Like, she pushes at one moment, and then she pulls towards her in the next moment. So hopefully Donna will, maybe we'll see her get some counseling and really see her sort of deal and address the issues that she's facing, because I can guarantee you there's more to her story than what we're seeing. People just see this sort of promiscuous party girl, but usually women who, or young girls who are promiscuous, in more cases than not, those girls have been sexually traumatized in some way, shape, or form. I promise you. What else happened? Oh, so in one of the more scripted moments, last week we saw Sky producing this sort of Kegel exercise video, and so we see Donna, I'm sorry, Sky going to pitch this video to a potential distribution company, and to me this was all about just sort of fun and laughs. There was no possible way anyone with an iota of sense or business acumen will walk into a business meeting and pitch this type of this type of video, completely ill prepared. So it was kind of funny. Sky's pitching the video, and then she throws her legs across the table and has sort of a Eartha Kitt boomerang moment where she starts screaming pussy, 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 pussy. And then she starts asking the potential investors or distributors, what was the problem? Did they not like pussy? So it was a really funny moment, but it was really contrived and really scripted nonetheless. So that was that. I'm trying to think what else happened during this episode. Let's see. We see Bay and Donna go puppy shopping, which was kind of a little cute, but not really eventful moment. We saw Melody and her husband have an exchange, and they both tattooed one another. They got banana tattoos from Monkey Love, I think is what the moniker that they give their affection towards one another. What else? What else happened? Oh, and one of the more funnier and real scenes, C's shows up to the old shop where Donna and Walt and Ted and Sky all work, and Donna is on 10. She's ready to go. Like, she's ready to take off on sight, because she feels slighted. Whether she has the right to feel slighted or not, only Donna can really say. But she was definitely in expression mode when C's walked in. So C's comes in, and they're asking him questions about what's happening with the new store in Atlanta, and why is Sky getting a position. And Donna is just like, she's pulling no punches. Like, whatever's on her chest, this is her moment to get it out. So she starts asking C's, like, what's up with the store? How come I'm not going? And she said that basically every woman that's promoted under C's company is basically a woman who is either sleeping with him or helping him to procure sex, basically. And she was essentially saying that the only reason Sky got this promotion is because Sky's friend Allison was sleeping with C's, and therefore, by proxy, a promotion happened to Sky. So C's completely took offense to it. But I mean, if you just look at things at face value, Donna makes a very valid point. She really does. I'm going to call it sexatism, not nepotism, sexpatism, because when the women sees us having sex with, uh, work within his company, they definitely rise and fall in some cases quicker than others. So I think it was a very valid point that she made. I don't think the way that she went about doing it was very professional. It was definitely insubordinate. Um, and so C's and Donna are going back and forth, and he's defending his position, and she's articulating hers. And somehow or other, she tells him he's mad because his breath stinks, and his breath smells like doo doo. And I don't know. Have you ever seen a person when you look at them, you just automatically think that's the person with bad breath? C's has a bad person's breath mouth. Like his lips scream bad breath. So as soon as she said that his breath smelled like doo doo, I could picture it. I could actually, in that moment, it was like I had smell-o-vision, because I'm like, I bet you his breath does smell like doo doo. Busta Rhymes is another person. When I see him, there's just something about his mouth that makes me think, I bet you his breath stinks. So that was that. I don't know. Donna is so bold. I'm telling you, and just bold beyond bold, because there is no possible way, if she were working for me, that she would be able to tell me some of the things, or say some of the things that she said to C's and get away with it. But this is reality television. She's good for reality television. I'm sure her contract is with VH1 and not necessarily with C. So, VH1 wants her to stay around. So until she alienates the producers of the show, I'm sure she'll still be there. So that happened. What else? I'm trying to think of anything else of value really happened. So let's just wrap this up and get right to the final scene. So in the final scene of the show, C's comes back in with Sky and basically confronts Donna and tells her to say some of the things that she said about Sky, being that the two of them were friends, say it to Sky's face. And so Sky and Donna get into this very heated exchange. And I think at the end of the day, what Donna is saying is, I'm afraid for you to leave. Don't leave. Take me with you. I need my friend. But vulnerability is a very hard space for most of us, myself included, to operate from. So rather than be open and honest about how she feels, she gets defensive and confrontational, which most often elicits the opposite response that we're trying to get. You get more bees with honey than you do with what else. So they had a heated exchange. And it was really interesting, though, because Sky is usually a firecracker, and she's usually ready to take off and fight on sight, too. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's personal growth, because I've been very critical of her for her temperament. But for whatever reason, when it came to Donna, she didn't try to fight her. I don't know if it was a level of love or respect, but she basically just got up and walked away and said, look, you're dead to me. Now, while the you're dead to me part might have been a little superfluous, I do think that the way that Sky handled it overall was very mature. So that was pretty much it for the episode. Next week is going to be really interesting. We see Duchess and Kit getting into a confrontation. It looks like Duchess is clearing the room with a can of mace, and things heat up pretty fast between Duchess and Kit next week. So I'm really excited to see, because Duchess has been in a very reduced role this season, being that she's back in North Carolina working on Pretty in Ink, so you don't see her very often this season. So it's also going to be interesting to see if Duchess winds up getting a spin-off show. I'm not sure how interesting a tattoo shop in North Carolina would be, but yeah. So anyhow, you guys, that's it for reality. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Dislike if you don't like. What else? Oh, remember to follow me across all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I'm Cerebral Diva on all platforms. If you can spell, you can find me. What else? Oh, as always, in closing, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. It's me, the Cerebral Diva, and I will talk to you guys again soon.